All right. This team really has taken the wind out of everyone's sails. Look, they won today, okay? They beat the Yanks in a big win, 7-1. It's inconsistent, 75 and 74. They're a game above 500. They're playing like a 500 team. It is tough. Brian Bayo gives you a good game tonight. 5 and a third, 1 run, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Not too bad. And then you went with your pen here. Bailey Horn gets you 2/3. Wink gets you an inning. Penrod, brand new pickup from Worcester. He gives you an inning, 2 Ks, and a walk. Not too bad. And Weiser closes it out in the 9th. And you got a good win, 7-1. Against the New York Yankees, premier team in the East right now, after losing 2. So you got to remember that. The game last night was a 4-1 lead for the Sox, and then Kelly gives up a bomb, and all of a sudden it's 5-4, and that's good night. You're currently 4 games out of the wild card. You're gonna be dropped to 3.5. Minnesota, barring a comeback, is supposed to lose to Cincinnati. 7-1 is the score right now in the 4th. You have a shot to close it to 3.5 with a series to play against Minnesota. All right. Now, look, it used to be that simple. It was just like, hey, stay in the race, stay in 3.5 till you play Minnesota, and then win that series, sweep Minnesota, something like that, and you're in. But it's not that simple anymore. Right now, Detroit is ahead of you, 2.5 back, and then Seattle is 3.5 back. You're 4 out right now. If Minnesota's gonna lose, so you should be at 3.5. Yeah, Minnesota, an uninspiring baseball right now. From the Twins. But yeah, the Red Sox, it feels like they've mailed it in. When they didn't sweep the Chicago White Sox, I knew we were kind of in trouble. And originally what was inspiring this recap was going to be like talking about the Ken Rosenthal article, which is Tristan Cassis' name coming up in trade for like a trade, which all the beats are talking about right now. Lou, Tony, everyone wants to talk about trading Cassis. Just a small defense, because no one's defending my guy right now. Just a minor defense. But I'm not going to entertain the whole article because the season's not over. As much as I want to say it's over, there's still baseball to be played. You play Tampa. You're going to play Minnesota soon too. So I'm not going to talk about off-season moves yet. I'm going to talk about the season right now, where we're at. 75, 74. 4 games out. Going to be 3.5 out. Big time series for the Sox coming up. Just a minor defense for Cassis. I think he's the best bat they have in the system. I don't think there's a bat that gets better than his. And I know he got hurt this year, and that's why a lot of people are not. That's why you're hearing so much about the antics that come with him. I know he's a high maintenance individual, all right? But I think his bat is worth that maintenance. All right. I think also his glove is an underrated part of his game. I think he's an amazing defender, and I think him and Devers are a core offensively that bring a ton of power to this team and complement guys like Duran and Abreu very well. Abreu has a little more power than Duran, but both those guys are good at getting on base. They have very good OPS. And then you have two power guys there. I know they're both left-handed, in Cassis and Duran. But I think if you're going to make a trade to get the power righty, Guerrero, Rooker, Alonso, one of those guys, I think if you have a core there between Cassis, Devers, and let's say Alonso here, or Rooker, I think that core is, those three together is, you can't pitch to those guys, you know? Like, those guys are crazy good. So I want to keep Cassis. I want to keep Duran. I can't give up Duran. I'm sorry. I think Duran, if you give up Duran, you're going to get burned. You're going to get burned so bad. And look, if it's George Kirby coming back, if we're talking George Kirby for Duran and not one of my top prospects, like if I can give up Mikey Romero instead of Marcelo Mayer and give up Jarren Duran and bring in George Kirby, we're talking. If it's Logan Gilbert, if I can do Duran for Gilbert 1-for-1, maybe I toss in someone below Mikey Romero. The DH in Worcester, it's like David Castanica or whatever. He's a pretty good player, but someone like that. But it's for Gilbert, and I'm flipping Jarren Duran, my best player, for Logan Gilbert. Maybe. I think Duran. It's hard to trade Jarren Duran. I think it's easier to trade Marcelo Mayer than it is to trade Jarren Duran. Strictly because you have guys that can play short. You have guys like Rafaela and Mikey Romero, Christian Campbell, that can all play shortstop. And I know Jarren Duran, his best position is left, but he plays center as well. I think him as your best player, especially after what you did to the fans after Mookie Betts when you traded their best, our best player, and it was just 6 years of rebuilding. Ever since you did that, you burned the fans really bad with that one. The best thing you got, I would say, is now Richard Fitz out of that, because Fitz came up and had a pretty good game against New York. Wong is going to be a good backup to Kyle Teal, that's for sure. Wong is a decent player. Doesn't really have the pop, but he's just a versatile player, and he'll be a good part-time catcher behind Kyle Teal. But I think Kyle Teal has some pop, and he's big, he's athletic, he's going to be a good player. I think trading Duran is really hard to do. If I'm trading Duran, I'm getting George Kirby, I'm getting Logan Gilbert, or I'm getting Dylan Cease. Someone like that. I need my ace. I need my ace for my rotation. I need a guy in front of Brian Bayo, a guy in front of Tanner Houck, and a guy in front of Cutter Crawford. I think Cutter Crawford's going to take a step forward next year. I think he's going to be better. I know he was really good in the beginning, and then he really sucked here at the end. I'm sorry. I think he has, like, not just the franchise record, but, like, the sports record for home runs served up on a popsicle stand. Like, he loves his slider, and especially in the first inning, it hangs, and he just gives up bombs. I think Cassis, it's a similar argument with Duran, where it's like, it's got to be Gilbert or Kirby or Cease. But I'm not as confident in them filling the power first baseman role as I am with filling short or center. You know, people forget, like, that where they were where Bobby was supposed to be the first baseman People forget all about, like, they didn't have a first baseman. Bobby wasn't that guy. Schwarber couldn't do it. Like, they couldn't figure out first. And now we're going to have Devers try to figure out first. And then I don't even want Devers in the field. And I know he's been better this year. And it's entertaining to watch him play third base. He's playing hurt. This is a guy that when I believe it was 10 games, the franchise record, 10 games in a row bombs. And I'm telling you right now, like, he is playing hurt. He's had a terrible September, terrible end of August. He's injured. And I'm getting to the point. Last year, his defense wasn't good enough. This year, his defense is good enough. It's good. His defense is good. He's like an MVP. But I'm telling you, his bat is so important, and he needs to be healthy, and he needs to be locked. It's not that he's not locked in, but he needs to be ready to go, primed up for every at-bat he walks into the batter's box. That's why I'm paying him. I'm paying him for his bat. I know it's a huge contract, especially for a DH. And they want to get off the Yoshida money before they do this. They have a couple bad contracts. Yoshida and Story. There's some bad contracts. Yoshida is a pretty clutch player. He's just overpaid. You know, like, he can't field. They gave him that contract to have him in left, and it's not working. Story doesn't have the right-handed pop that they thought they had with him. But yeah, I want Devers to be the DH. I think he'll be an MVP candidate as a DH. You know, he'll be that good. So, rant over, I guess. I don't want to trade Cassis or Duran. I'm hesitant on trading Marcelo Mayer as well, but I think the big point I'm trying to push across is someone's gonna go. Someone's gonna go. First base, center field, shortstop. Someone's gonna go. Mikey Romero is tearing it up in Portland. There is insane depth in the outfield. Like, Cedane Rafaela is supposed to be the center fielder. You have Abreu, who's going to be Rookie of the Year this year. You have Roman Anthony coming up. Is Duran that guy being traded, even though he's top 3 player in the league right now? Or is it Cassis? My argument against it is I don't think they can fill the first base position at any point here. Also, I think he has the highest ceiling of all the bats that they have. His ceiling is, like, higher than Devers. So, rant over. See what happens. Sox play the Yanks one more time tomorrow, and then it's Tampa, and then the big series is Minnesota. Even if they sweep Minnesota, Detroit needs to lose games. That's where we're at. It's not really in our hands anymore. Take care. Have a good night.